YouTube, hi. How's it going? How's everyone doing? Welcome. We're doing some Isaac today. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit, and I guess I want to head off this video by saying, it's the start of a week. I don't want to start anyone on a down note or anything like that. So I just wanted to kind of head off this video and say that before I even get into it, I do these Isaac episodes sometimes, and you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes I do an Isaac and I sit here and I'm like, hey, what's the deal with? How come you park on a driveway and drive on a parkway or something? I don't remember how the bit goes. And then I'd talk about what's the difference with why is an avocado just like an old pear? And it's like random garbage fun, who cares? Or I'll just talk about like Genshin for half an hour. But then sometimes I do these videos and it's like, oh, there he goes. He's just used Isaac for free therapy again. I want to head this off now and just be like, hey, this is going to be one of those ones, but like slightly different. I have like a little bit more direction today with the stuff I wanted to talk about. I think this will be a valuable video for myself and also for kind of understanding some of the reasoning behind why I do some of these videos and stuff. But I did want to kind of head it off. If you're not in the mood for anything, overly introspective, or there's going to be little to no banter today, I suggest. Or if you just don't want to hear me, whining for however long this video goes. I was going to say half an hour, but let's not be too ambitious. We do have a little Isaac baby run, and it's a long one. Hopefully it's a good one. But I wanted to, we'll just hop in. But yeah, so just like a forewarning there, but I like doing these. I like going inside baseball, and part of the, I think, reason why I was, I'm sorry, the tone. Look, I know, my score. I can't, it just doesn't, there's no way on this video that's the tone we're going for. I think maybe read the room on that one. I'll take this thing. Something to do with spirit hearts, right? I need a blessing or two right now. But like I said, I've done a few of these, and part of me's like, you know what? I think it might be nice to kind of put a little like explanation into why I do videos like this sometimes, and what the kind of thought process is behind it, and I guess how that applies to the current moment right now. So like I'm recording this now. On the back of a pretty rough night. This is gonna go up same day, probably. It's Isaac. They always go up same day, so it's Monday. And it's been a rough, like definitely a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. That things have been a little tricky, or that have been a little rough, mentally speaking. And then this past week especially has been pretty toasting. I'm not gonna lie. Sort of the back end of last week in particular, and then last night in particular. Last night it wasn't too bad, but enough that I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna talk a little bit tomorrow because it feels good, which is what I'll get to in a minute. But that's kind of how I've like come to be making this video right now. It's just tricky few nights. It kind of stacks up. I know last night I was kind of like doing nothing for ages. Sunday I usually watch NL stream on a Sunday, and I just didn't even like care or like want to. I don't even know I did yesterday. Okay, well there was football, and I watched the football, and was happy for a bit actually because we did win. But then that kind of passes or whatever. And then I was on Genshin for 2 or 3 hours or so, which already is like a doesn't necessarily make me feel too much better, because that was, I've talked a little bit about Genshin, and I talked about how my account got hacked. So I already kind of use Genshin as a vessel to hang out with friends, and I've not been able to do that for like a week and a half because my account got hacked. And, you go from hanging out like most days, pretty much every day, to like, I don't know, not really at all for like a week and a half. It kind of, so I already, if Genshin was something that like used to be a distraction, and now it's like, and I talked about Genshin. I know I mentioned like a month ago or so that I was like losing interest, and I was maybe going to tap out. I was like, nah, let me keep going because I enjoy playing with my friends. And then my account got hacked, and now I can't really play with my friends right now. So I'm very on the edge with Genshin. Yeah, I played last night. And actually, in the end, it did help because I hopped on, I did my daily commissions, and then because I'm on the second account, I haven't explored Leeway yet. I started doing that last night. I did all the waypoints earlier this week, but I literally just went from waypoint to waypoint to waypoint. So my map percentage was like 2%, 3%, 2%, 4%. So I spent like an hour last night after doing my daily commissions, just running around getting chests, doing puzzles and challenges and stuff. Actually, I didn't. I think I beat a couple of challenges, but I failed a couple of them. But it was whatever. And then I got a wish. And then was almost very excited because it was I got like 8. You get like 2 gems per chest, and I got like 80 gems from all the chests I'd got last night. So it was like it wasn't like I got 100 free ones from I'm just gonna take this. I got 100 free ones from a code, so it's like a free wish. No, that was a grinded for wish. That was like an hour of grabbing random chests all over mountains and shit for that wish, and then it pops up and it's a purple, and I'm like, oh shit. And then it was a friggin' Noel constellation. It was my third Noel, so my C2 Noel. And I went, okay. And then I kind of stopped playing I talked quite a lot about it. Usually I kind of just leave Genshin open in case people want to like hang out or whatever. But then obviously I can't do anything when I have Genshin open because my PC sucks. So if I even alt tab when I'm playing Genshin, it'll like freeze up my entire PC. So I was just watching a Twitch VOD on my phone for a bit, and then I like an hour passed, and I looked at the VOD, and it was like 5 minutes left, and I went, okay, I think after this VOD finishes, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna log off Genshin and go to bed. There was like 5 minutes left, and then 30 seconds later, my guardian angel NSL slid through and asked if I needed help with anything, and I was like just about to go to bed. But I still had on my resin, so he came over and we slammed some flowers, and that felt good. And then that was one of those things. This is why I'm like, okay, I went on and it was like a pretty dead, I don't know how long I was playing, a couple hours. And pretty much I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm on right now, blah, 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 blah. But then it, by the end, that little 10 minutes I think was enough to kind of, like going to bed was a lot easier after that, I would say. So that was nice, and it was only 10 minutes because I was already going to bed. I was already tired and stuff. Well, kind of, I don't know. But he brought out his big, strong Ganyu and his big, strong Hu Tao, and we slammed some flowers. We went so fast that we killed ice, and then we killed fire, or the other way around. I don't remember. And then we killed fire, and then we killed ice, and then we had to wait for fire to respawn because we were too damn strong. We were too damn quick. Well, I wasn't strong. My Kaya does like 11 per hit, but he was very strong, and that was nice. And it was my first time killing either of those bosses on my on this account, so that was good. I still need to do some of them though. I haven't fought Geo yet. I haven't fought Oceanid yet, which I'm dreading. I haven't fought Animo yet. I haven't fought Geo Visap yet. I haven't fought Child yet. Although I haven't unlocked Child yet, so that is probably the reason for that. Anyway, but listen, so last night, not brilliant, but then you come to the end of it, and I was like, you know what, that got me feeling a little better. And I was like, okay, so maybe that's, on the back of that is a good time to make a video like this. Because I'm kind of in one of those middle ground moods. Like, I don't feel like completely shit right now anyway. I think last night was, I thought that was the Stompy thing. Last night definitely was up there, I would say. But then today I'm like, I kind of woken up and I don't feel like as bad. So okay, maybe now's a good time. Because I thought about making this video yesterday. Yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening I could have done it. I thought it was against my better judgment. I was less emotionally in control, potentially, I could say. Whereas right now I'm like, okay, there's some middle ground here. I feel like I can articulate my thoughts a little bit better. If that makes sense. So I guess that's my context for going into this video. And I think I'm okay in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. But I wanted to, I like doing these for a few reasons. And I think that's kind of was my topic focus today, or my conversational focus, was these types of videos the reasons why I do them, or like why I like to do them, or why I think they're okay to do. Because I don't want these to ever be like, hey, everyone look at me, I'm like sad or whatever, and everyone needs to know. I think that's super not good. I've had quite a lot of therapy, as I've talked about in the past, which I don't need to get into today, but again, we'll talk about that in a minute. But and I used to be the sort of person where, like, if I was in like a really not a good place, or like a bad, like, sad mood or whatever, I would be that type of person who would, you know, go on like Twitter and be like, you know, and be sad about it, which I think is, you know, this was like, you know, maybe like 18, 19, which I think is like, a part of it's just like an emotional intelligence thing, a part of it's just like, I don't know, it's just like a very teenage thing to do. Oh, no snaps, no one snapped me right now, only the real friends know what's up, you know, like one of those. I feel like that's pretty normal for, I don't know, like an 18-year-old to do, but you kind of grow out that sort of thing naturally sometimes, I suppose. But yeah, that's the sort of thing that, like, you know, in therapy, or as someone who's had therapy, or that's had like a little bit of training in it before the pandemic yeeted that opportunity straight from out under my feet after 2 years of waiting for it, is the sort of thing that is like heavily advised against, and there's you channel that into alternate avenues. So instead of kind of, you know, doing like a public, being like so public about it, it's like, hey, what is golden is, you know, talking to people and reaching out to people, and that's like a really good, you know, there's the, you know, talking, letting people know how you're feeling, or, you know, reaching out to people to be like, hey, I'm, you know, struggling a little bit right now, blah blah blah. That's like, that's good. You do that, but there's that kind of line between it. So I don't want to be like fall into this camp where it sounds like I'm just. Did we get the item on this floor? We did. Oh, it's an Excel floor. There's another item room somewhere. I don't want it to feel like that's why I'm doing these videos, because that's not necessarily the case. What I do like to do, and aside from just like at absolute surface level, it just feels nice to do. It just feels nice to talk. You know, I'm sure most people would agree, and I could just sit here and talk to myself, but that would feel weird to do. So it probably wouldn't, like, you know, bring the same level of like same level of satisfaction to just sit here and literally just talk to myself. But I'm like, it's a video, dude. It's a YouTube video. It's an environment I'm comfortable in. I've made YouTube videos for years, and that's kind of, you know, a key thing with this. Whenever you talk to anyone, whether it's like a therapist or if it's like a friend or a family member, it's always about that, having that like comfortable environment. And YouTube is something I feel comfortable doing, so that's kind of a thing for sure. Oh, let's go find the other item room. See what's popping in there. Okay, just a little bit of dial on this one. Just a little bit of dial on this one. But I like doing it in video for, and you could say like, okay, well, I could like sit here and I could do a video and then I could upload the video. I like doing this for a couple of reasons, and we'll go through all of them. I wrote them all down just to kind of give myself some direction. I don't think I've done this for an Isaac episode before, like made notes. I gave myself a little direction so I don't forget things. I like it for a few reasons, but one of the reasons why I like doing them as videos, I think it's good to kind of contribute to like normalizing this sort of thing. Like, I feel like there are industries, jobs and stuff where it's the most normal thing. You know, songwriters, they're sad, they write a song about being sad. And no one's like, hey, why is Elliott Smith singing about being sad all the time? Why is Justin Vernon, you know, why is he always telling us he's sad? No one's doing that because that's like, it's a normal thing to do, and like, you know, if you don't want to listen to the music, you don't have to listen to the music. But he makes the music and puts it out, and it works for him, and it's good for him, and it feels better for him. And then there's a market for that music, there's an audience for that music, because there are people who feel who resonate with it and who get something out of it, who feel better. I don't think I'm particularly the type of individual who usually feels better listening to sad music. Like Peep, I love Lil Peep so much. I only ever listen to Peep when I'm already sad, because it's just gonna make me sad. So I only ever even as much as I love him and I love his music, yeah, I'm only ever listening to Lil Peep if I was already down there. So I wouldn't say it cheers me up, but it cheers some people up, or even just like having something to feel not alone, or whatever. There's an audience there, and that's why that's acceptable. And painters and artists, paint their sadness, and you get people, authors will reflect that in the characters they write or write about. But then I feel like if you're not in like an expressive industry, there's just like so much less room for that. Well, naturally, because it's like, stuff like art is emotionally led. So obviously, if that's an individual's emotions, that makes sense. But I feel like there's just not enough room for that, where there should be room for that. Which is why I really like occupational therapy and that sort of stuff. I think is very important, or like therapy in the workplace, etc., etc. And look, I'm doing this on YouTube right now, which is an expressive medium, and I also only have 37 subscribers. I'm not changing the world right now. You know what I mean? But I still like the feel of like contributing to that, maybe, or like trying to contribute to that. Which is why I don't mind uploading videos like this as like a step one. I can't even see where I am right now. Okay, you just gotta like pay a little bit of attention. Yeah, okay. This run isn't going brilliantly. I feel like it's not going to be a long one, to be honest. Yeah, what was I saying? What was I up to? This is why I have the notes. What was I up to? Oh yeah, industry, the creative industries. Not yet, my friend, not yet. I'll come back for you, battery son. Yeah, so I'm not, changing the world right now, as I said, but contributing to that in any way, it's the sort of thing I wanted to do with my career. So like, okay, I can't do much career-wise right now because I'm apparently too useless to get a job. But any way that I can like replicate that feeling is good, and if that's kind of happening via these videos, then sure, I don't know. Maybe that is happening. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of part of it. I like when other YouTubers kind of do that, and like, hey, not everything's shiny YouTube personality all the time. Because it's true. And some people are just absolute machines, and do just like go through that, and it doesn't even, like work through that, and it doesn't even like affect them. But some people are like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and I guess on like a more personal note, like I definitely worry, or not worry, or like I'm conscious of like oversharing in these videos. That's definitely been a thing through like the Isaac videos, or I don't know, personality quizzes or whatever. Mostly Isaac at this point, but or I guess it always has been mostly Isaac. We talk about this stuff. So I don't know, like from an outside perspective, that seems like it could be a thing. But I honestly, I think I know where my line is. Quite well, I would say. Sure, if this creep, like I know what I'm happy to talk about kind of publicly, and this is coming to like a grander point, or like why I like doing this stuff. But I think I know where my line is, to where like, okay, there's stuff that I could talk about in videos and don't mind talking about in videos and being out there and being public, versus the stuff that's like, okay, I'm not, that's like too inside baseball that I wouldn't go into outside of like, oh, I fucking, yep. So the no sound curse strikes again. Versus others, I'm only going to talk about to like, close friends or whatever. I feel like I know where that line is for myself. So we gotta just keep moving here, I guess. Just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving. How many hands we got? How many hands we got? Just the 2? So I don't necessarily worry about oversharing, because I feel like my line is quite well attuned. Fuck it. Subconsciously speaking. So I don't think I'm going to overstep that mark or like regret what I say. Like we were talking the other night about the personality tests. And I was joking about, yeah, fuck it, dude, why not? That one personality quiz I did, when I spent like 15 minutes talking about, you know who, and if you don't know who, then, oops, sorry. And I was like, yeah, that was probably like not ideal. But that was just how I am. So, and I don't necessarily like regret that. I think that I went over. Oh, okay, maybe a little bit. I definitely overshared there. But yeah, like kind of just like it's how I am or whatever. So it's not like I was like, oh no, I really regret that video, because I'd just like delete it, right? So I think I still like know where my line is. Decently speaking, there's a lot of flies in this room right now. Decently speaking, which I think helps. To where I'm like, hey, these feel good to make, and I don't worry about overstepping. Because like I know, if it does feel good to talk, and I know that I like have, like I know who I can talk to and stuff. Am I going to? Probably not. Just because it's very much just a me thing. I absolutely hate being a burden, and even outside of these contexts and these scenarios and these situations and these types of feelings, I don't even like socially. I never initiate, right? I'll never be the one that's like, hey, do you want to hang out? And obviously, you know, COVID times is different. All that is kind of like mostly, you know, virtual hanging out at this point, which is fine as well. But I will never, ever be the one to initiate. I never have been, and I probably never will be, because I never want to put that on people. You know, if other people want to hang out, I'm gonna say yes every time. I've talked about this. I've talked about this before. Again, both in Isaac's and I think in the personality quiz. Thank you, Scapula. Okay, this is a little tricky. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. This is a little tricky. Okay, focus on green boy, focus on green boy, focus on green boy. Focus on... Fuck, I don't know which one's which. I think this one's green boy. Okay. Okay, I didn't know he could shoot up. I thought I could only shoot horizontally. That's why I was hiding above him. Her. Okay. Yeah, sure. This run's fine. What was I saying, man? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Again, but that's a me issue. That's a me thing. I don't know. Maybe one day. But I don't ever want to be, like, put people in a position where they've, like, got to feel like, not this guy. I don't know. We talked about that before. I don't need to go into that too much. I think I've talked at length about that sentiment or that feeling. Okay, there's just so much going on in this run. It's such a heavy run. Where am I? Okay, so yeah, but then I think, and this is I guess the grander point. There was no segue at all there because I lost my train of thought entirely. So I'll just move into my next bit. My next point. I think one of the big reasons why I like doing these videos and putting them up and having them be like a public thing, I think it kind of gives a sense of accountability that I like. And I guess what I mean by that, I guess an example. Oof, I like this boy, but is he saving this run? Because this is a bad run right now. Is he doing that for us? Get 25% off on official hoodies. Wow, they were only £60, and now they're 55. That's exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah, sure. I don't know, man. Probably not gonna buy any official hoodies. Especially because like it's warm now or something, which is kind of weird. What was I saying? So like, for example, okay, I have the webcam now, right? Obviously, I don't have it on the Isaacs, which I don't think really fits. It looks a little bit, for me at least. I never. Okay, to be fair, there's not much reaction. Like there's no point in having a webcam on today because my face hasn't like done anything interesting, right? But also I feel like most of the time with like with my Isaac at least, So like Josh's videos, he has like his overlay. So he has the game and then he has his web. Josh's videos and his streams look good and natural and right, and he also has a better webcam as well. As part of it, I feel like if I just like shoehorned mine in a corner somewhere, it looks a bit funny. I think it already, even for the Skyrim, I am like, I wish I had a more elegant solution for this. I don't care. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. It's whatever. But like when I was joking in one of my episodes about how very like 2014 it was, it was like, alright, it's Skyrim and webcam and I do slightly wish I had a more elegant solution for that, but I don't, so whatever. But Isaac, I feel like it's a bit, I don't know where to put it, or like, I don't know. So I don't have them for Isaac, but obviously I have them for like basically everything else at this point. We have the face cam, and I like having it. I like having it on there for thumbnails and stuff, but I also like it for the accountability. Now, obviously, Yetiness, I get up and I sit in front of a camera. However, I record Yetiness videos like every 3 weeks, so there's not that much of pressure to stay presentable for those. But with the webcam, if I'm recording, you know, like 5 days a week, it puts that onus on me to shave every day and to shower every day. And those are the things that I've been struggling with recently. You know, I mentioned earlier in the video, or did I mention earlier in the video? I don't know. I went to bed last night and then slept for 2 hours and then woke up naturally after 2 hours and was annoyed. And then I woke up at like 5 a.m. and then it took me like 5 hours to like get myself, to motivate myself to get out of bed. And those are definitely, again, this isn't necessarily what this video is for, but as far as struggling recently, those are things I've been struggling quite a lot with, is getting out of bed and, you know, showering every day and remembering to eat every day and that sort of stuff, which is why I can tell that it's not going very well. Like the eating thing is usually like the first thing that goes for me, and I'll get days where I wake up and I have like the worst stomachache of all time, and I'm like, oh shit, what have I eaten? You know, was it something I ate? Ba-dum-dum-ch. And then I'm like, oh no, it's the fact that I haven't done that for 36 hours. Which is why I like talking about it. Accountability. Again, we'll come to accountability. That's what I'm working on right now. But accountability. I'm talking about in a video right now. Have I eaten today? Nope. Does my stomach hurt? Yep. Do I have the motivation to eat? Nope. So I'm going to talk about it in this video and be like, hey, isn't that stupid? And people will be like, yeah, that's stupid, you should eat. And I'm like, yeah. But again, we'll get to that. This is a natural, I have the direction of this bit in my head right now. So we'll get to that. I like the accountability of knowing that I'm going to be in front of my webcam. And granted, you can't really even tell, for the most part, if it's only been like a day longer than it should have been without shaving. You can't really tell on the webcam because I'm far away from it and it's like low quality and I don't grow that dense facial hair enough that like IRL, yeah, that which is there's a reason like I do need to shave every day, or like you know it looks like I need to, like after a day it's like, oh yeah, I need, you know what I mean. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna see it on the webcam, but I feel like because I'm sitting in the front of the webcam that I don't know, probably a little too late, but why not. But I like that accountability. Like I have to put the effort into to do that because I know I'm going to sit in front of the camera. That's like physically speaking, that accountability is there. So I like the sort of mental accountability. Is that the right word to even use here? With videos like these, because I come in and I talk about, hey, I'm like unmotivated and you know, or you know, I haven't done this, or I need to do this, or I'm feeling this type of way, and then I put that out there and it's like, okay, now it's like manifesting it, kind of. I don't know how to really like explain the mental transaction that takes place. Okay, fucker. Okay, we're just not gonna go that way. The mental transaction that takes place to get to this justification, or that comes out of doing this. But what are we saying? No thanks. No, we can figure this out. There we go. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. Is you know, when I put these videos out, it's like, okay, so now people know where I'm at. So like, it's not like I'm just having this go on in my own head and then forcing myself to deal with it, or like letting it, like pushing it away or letting it rot away in my own brain. It's like, okay, now it's like it's a public thing, so I have to work on it because, you know, it like reflects on me, right? If that makes sense. Or I don't know if that's the word. I don't know if I'm articulating this my thoughts as well on this, or you know, but I think that makes sense. And for sure, like, part of it is like I always like I as much as I would like to not something. Okay, you know, in therapy you kind of identify your like weaknesses, or your mental weaknesses, your you know, your triggers, and like you identify what it is you need / want to work on, right? And something that was never really an issue for me for before, but is now. Or was it? I don't know. But I know that I do care about what other people think about me, and it's something that I would like to care less about. We chilling? But as kind of taking that step back and identifying that, I go, okay, well, that's a problem, and ultimately I'd like to just not feel like that way. But if that is a negative right now, how can I at least use that, or turn that into a positive? And I think the answer to that for me is to be like, okay, well, if I care about what people think about me, tell people about the negative things. And then I don't want people watching this and being like, wow, this guy hasn't like eaten today, that sucks, what a dummy. Or this guy is like, he's like, you know, really lazy, and then that's gonna, knowing that like people could, and it's not gonna happen because like I know that, you know, no one really, there's not much of an audience on this channel outside of people who are like already my friends, and they don't think that way about me because they're my friends. But the kind of the sentiment there is there, or the feeling is there, of being like, okay, well, if I put these like negatives about myself out there, it makes it feel like people could see it, and people could use that to think negatively about me, or be aware of my negatives, which makes me like conscious of them, and makes me more like wanting to fix them, right? Which I guess that's what I mean when I say accountability. Probably should have re-rolled that. If that makes sense. I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing of being like, okay, as far as making the videos, you know, a very surface level, you could be like, oh, it just feels good to talk. As far as uploading the videos, so okay. I don't know how we didn't take damage on this room just now. Truly incredible. Truly incredible. My finest perform. What the fuck? I didn't know that this could happen. I had no idea. And I can't even pick it up. That might be, in like 500 hours of playing Isaac, this might be the first time I've ever gotten a duplicate trinket that you can't pick up. And it slides around like a hockey puck, dude. I feel like Max Comtois himself. I feel like Big Trev Zegras. He scored his first NHL goal the other day, as did Jamie Drysdale in the same game. That was exciting. That was exciting. Yeah, so I think that's a big thing. If there's a disconnect between being like, okay, well, I could just do them and not upload them, but I still choose to upload them. That's probably the big reason why I like to do these videos and like to put them up as videos that are like public, right? I think it's an accountability thing, and I think that's good, and I like that. Does that make sense? And that's kind of like, I feel like if that was like the wider point for this video, was to kind of explain why I tend to make these videos. I don't know. I don't know what the deal with Isaac is. I like that Isaac is kind of like a thing that's become like, hey, it's like the insidest thoughts on my YouTube. I have multiple channels. I do different things on the different channels. And this is like the one way, if people want to like really go, probably as inside as I'm willing to go on the internet, to people I you know, I don't know, or you know, as in like anyone could watch this. If you wanted, I fucking hate, just play with sound. No, never. Is there sound on? Yeah, okay. Just making sure. I can't actually see my sound waves on Streamlabs right now. It would have been a really awkward one to have, just be like awkwardly silent the whole way. I don't think we've got much longer of this run, to be honest. I think it's coming to it. Yep. Let's do the big room instead. Well, maybe I'll come back to that one. Or maybe I'll just die. I should be so lucky. Yeah, so like probably gonna just die. Would be my guess. With the way that this room's going, yeah, probably. I think I will just decease instead. But I feel like I've done like a few of these types of videos right now, and like, I'm almost like, hey, let me explain why these videos exist and tend to happen, and etc. etc. Not that that necessarily needs to happen. You know, it's a YouTube channel. Upload whatever you freaking want, dude. But also, yeah, I don't know if people like could see these videos and be like, what's the deal with these? That's the deal with these. And you know, maybe it's for selfish reasons. Maybe the reasoning does just extend as far as. So it's going to be the end of the run. Maybe the reasoning does just extend as far as, like, personal. It helps me, which is also fine. But then I feel bad that people end up like watching them. But then they don't. I guess they don't have to. I don't know. It is what it is. But I guess I'm gonna leave that there. And I'm up now, so I guess I'll try and like do something. I don't know. I'll try and eat. I'll have a shower maybe. Again, I've said this in videos. I don't know if anyone's noticed. I've been doing this a lot, but I've been saying in videos recently a lot. I'm gonna go have a shower, like at the end of all my videos, because I feel like if I say it in a video, I have to do it. So if anyone's noticed, I don't know, in like Skyrim or like other whatever videos, the GeoGuessr one maybe. I was doing it and I was like, this is not really that big of a deal. And as I'm editing stuff, I'm like, I say this in like every video now. But again, it's like manifesting it, sort of, or like accountability, I guess. Even though it's not, it's just me, like, it's just a throwaway comment being like, hey, I'm gonna get a shower. But that's why that's happening. It's still music. Okay, that's good. So if anyone has watched, I'm very grateful. Thank you for hanging out, for the company, because that is like literally the biggest thing that keeps me sane right now is just is company, and that's like pretty much the only thing that is like keeps me separated from, you know, all the Minkus stuff is that. So thank you for the company and for being here, and I'm gonna say goodbye, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Yeah. Dude, I'm so tired, man. I can't believe I only managed 2 hours. I don't understand why my body does this. So I might have a nap. I might have a nice big long afternoon nap. But then I also don't want to, because I'll be awake all night thinking, which is not good. But I'm exhausted, so I think I'll have a nap. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys very much. And yeah. I'll see you later.